So here's a story. Albert Breer, one of the reporters here, that Tom Brady is unlikely to play for the Buccaneers next year. And one of the reasons we've talked about this, that it's so obvious. It is hard to leave relationships, right? But when Brady left New England, he left a lot. He left the number one academic organization in the sport, maybe the smartest organization in sports. He left the best coach. He left a disciplined culture. He left a great owner who became an incredible friend. He left a lot. He left the best offensive line coach. He left Josh McDaniels. Brady left a lot in New England. It was not an easy decision. What's he leaving in Tampa? We don't know if they have the head coaching situation right. The O-line's been banged up all year. His receivers are aging. So is the front seven defensively. And as an organization, it's always been a little squirrely. I like the Buccaneers, but they've always been squirrely. It is much easier to bail on Tampa right now. They're like turning a really cool rental car in after 4 great days in Vegas. I really appreciated it. You really liked it. You saw the town, some interesting memories, but you're turning in a rental car. This isn't the first car you've ever owned. So, but what's interesting is Tom's got all the leverage. The Niners are going to kick the tires. The Raiders will probably be interested. He can retire. He can come over to Fox in Broadcasting. He has a signed contract. So Tommy's got all the leverage, but it is a cautionary tale. It's what the Cavs did with LeBron, what the Lakers are doing with LeBron, and what the Bucs are doing with Brady. When you decide to build around an aging star, the Cavs did it late with LeBron. The Lakers certainly did it. What did LeBron want in Los Angeles? Get rid of the young guys, get me AD and veterans, and you can win. They did in the bubble. But if LeBron left tomorrow, what do they have? And when Tom leaves the Bucs, what do they have? They brought in the Gronk. They brought in AB. They got players he could relate to, veteran players. They overpaid, brought all 22 guys back after the Super Bowl, right? Ideally, you'd like to move off a couple of those big price tags. Now they're getting a little old in the front seven. Receivers can't stay as healthy. O-line falling apart. So when you decide, hey, we love this superstar. The Cavs were a losing organization, kind of desperate. We'll go all in to get a title. Buccaneers, squirrely, kind of desperate. Jameis Winston not working. We'll build around the aging star. The star, LeBron, moves off and gets rich in L.A. and wins another title. Brady could move off to San Francisco and win another title. It's a cautionary tale. Really good organizations rarely get desperate, right? But Tampa's always been a little sideways, a little goofy. And the Cavaliers, I mean, let's be honest, without LeBron in the last 20 years, not been great. So that's where we stand today. Brady probably not returning. He's turning in the rental car. There's not a lot of emotional connections here, right? Albert Breer yesterday on the familiarity, why familiarity elsewhere might help Brady leave Tampa.
I think there are certain things he appreciates more now about the New England experience, whether it's the discipline in the program, it's how tight everything was wound, how the game was called, the offensive coaching he had. And it sort of takes me back to, when Josh McDaniels left New England the first time and went to Denver, and Billy O'Brien got promoted, it was 2009, got promoted to become the offensive play caller. And almost right away, Bill O'Brien got a text from Tom Brady with 4 words: I want to be coached. I think if he's going to continue playing after this year, you're right to think that could be a factor. And the 2 most obvious places where I think, he'd have coaches he could really respect on that side of the ball would be San Francisco and Vegas.
Keep your eyes on both. Interesting article from Jory Epstein. She's been a Cowboy Insider for a while. And Jerry Jones has been talking about this, that what Jory points out here is very, very interesting with Dak Prescott. And it's a real thing, and it's something I think for those of us who have always viewed Dak as basically Kirk Cousins with a bigger brand. Can win a lot of games, can win the division, limitations. Then there's those that believe Dak is an A, top 10. They're offended if you don't discuss it. But as Jory points out, Prescott's 1.7 pass-interception ratio ranked 13th among 97 quarterbacks, okay, with at least 100 passes. Okay, that's different. That's last year, right? Okay, so he's kind of average. This year, his rate is third worst in the league. Why is that? He's throwing more interceptions. Well, why he's making more mistakes? Because Dak Prescott has always been, when was he at his best? Cowboys had the best line. Zeke was the best running back in the league. He went 13-3. They didn't ask a lot. Think of it like years ago when they used to have typewriters, right? And somebody could brag, I type 80 words a minute. If I made you type 130 words a minute, you'd make more mistakes. So Dallas this year is asking Dak to do more. Why? The offensive line. Tyron Smith hasn't played. Michael Gallup wasn't there when the year started. They traded Amari Cooper. Schultz, the tight end, Dalton Schultz, very good tight end. Hasn't been 100% many games this year. So they've asked Dak to elevate and fill in the gaps. Dak has always been Kirk Cousins. He has always been Jared Goff. I think he's more talented, but similar to Jimmy Garoppolo. He is not capable of filling the gap, going to 120 words a minute without more mistakes. If you look, as this team has had some limitations offensively due to Gallup's injury, Schultz injury, no Amari Cooper, no Tyron Smith. In the last 5 games, you look at it and think Dallas is rolling, but look at Dak's numbers. He lost to Green Bay with a passer rating of 78, and that's not even a good defense. He beat the Giants but had 2 picks. He beat the Colts, but had 2 picks. And he beat Indianapolis, but the defense basically led the day and blew it open in the fourth quarter. First 2.5 quarters, we were all asking, why is this game close? The Colts are terrible. So Dak needs the team to be whole, and then they can pull him along. Like a Kirk Cousins, he can make big throws, like a Jared Goff. But when Jared Goff would have an injury, guard, center, guard, wasn't the same. Was not the same quarterback. That's why McVay went and got Matt Stafford. Kirk Cousins. If Justin Jefferson goes down, put him in prime time with a pass rush. The interesting thing here is Dallas becoming a team that is winning despite Dak? Now, that sounds harsh, but right now Dallas has a top 3 scoring defense. 32 teams, they're top 3. This is an elite defense. They are a top 7 rushing team. 32 teams, top 7. Yet Dak is one of 3 quarterbacks that has more picks than games started. The other 2 are Matt Ryan and Davis Mills. Dak is not a top 10 quarterback. The more words you demanded somebody type in the 80s and 90s on a typewriter, if they're 80 words a minute and you ask for 130, you're going to get more mistakes. The Lions have done a very good job drafting offense. Goff is mostly protected. Garoppolo in San Francisco, mostly protected. Justin Jefferson to Minnesota when Dalvin Cook is healthy in a run game. Kirk Cousins, mostly protected. Dak similarly needs that. And this year, Amari's gone, tight end's hurt, Gallup came in late, O-line's not as good. Now, they add T.Y. Hilton. Tyron Smith should come back. Looks like Tony Pollard is emerging as a star. Let's hope Dalton Schultz now stays healthy the rest of the year. That is not to say they wouldn't win multiple playoff games. They are getting healthier. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.